ongoing interactive session with stakeholders in the Nigerian oil and gas industry by the Senate Adhoc Committee investigating alleged economic sabotage in the petroleum industry on Wednesday turned into a forum of accusations, allegations, counter-accusations, and name-calling as representatives of different groups invited by the Adhoc Committee did everything possible to exonerate themselves and the group they represent. This is sequel to concerns raised by the Senate over $1.5 billion approved in 2021 for the turnaround maintenance of the Port Harcourt refinery, with little or no results to show till date. In his opening remarks, the Senate leader and chairman of the Adhoc Committee, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, had pleaded with stakeholders not to resort to blame game, but to show calm and understanding in the course of presenting their positions to the committee.
You will agree with me that this is truly a challenging period in the recent history of our fatherland. The supply of refined petroleum products has been irregular and problematic. The long queues at filling stations is also a testament to this challenge. A situation whereby we now depend almost entirely on the importation of these products, even when we daily supply the world about 2% of its crude oil requirements, is, to say the least, highly worrisome. We also have at hand a grievous issue of national concern that directly borders on the importation of hazardous and substandard petroleum products.
However, the session took a different turn when the group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, in his submission exonerated his company, saying it is not responsible for the importation of adulterated products into Nigeria. Kyari particularly said the substandard products are actually smuggled into the country through other illegal means.
See what's happening in the media. Targeted personal attack on my person, on the institution. And we all know how this works. They are deliberate, they are calculated, so that create the impression that the NNPC Limited and our leadership are doing anything to create economic sabotage in our country. It is far from it, Mr. Chairman. This company has grown, Mr. Chairman. We're proud to say this. From a loss company for 43 years to a profit-making company today, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it is very clear from everything you have said through this investigative hearing that you can see the majority of the issues you have raised have nothing to do with the NNPC Limited. Yet, everybody believes, by sheer misinformation which my minister has highlighted, the NNPC is responsible for creating any economic sabotage in our country. Chairman, there are rules, there are regulators. We follow the rules. Nobody will bring product into this country that doesn't meet specifications. If it does happen, it's crime. It couldn't have passed through any regulatory institution. It is impossible. We all know what happens. Smuggling does take place. And I'm happy the Customs Service is here. No one can deny that smuggling takes place across our border. But for PMS and every other commodity that I can think of, this is real. Mr. Chairman, when the details come, we will tell you what we know. Mr. Chairman, I suggest also that it should be set live so that everybody will hear what is going on in the industry.
For the national president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Alhaji Abubakar Megandi, and the Group Chief Corporate Strategy Officer for Dangote Group, Aliu Suleiman, creating a level playing field for all players in the industry is the only way to ensure steady growth in the sector.
It is pertinent to know that the value chain in the downstream should be sustained to allow other investors to continue to play their role effectively. This will go a long way in protecting those who have invested in the oil and gas sector. IPMAN, as a body, sir, would like to use this medium to solicit the support of the Senate to ensure that there is a level playing ground in this sector of the economy by ensuring that the refineries, storage facilities, owners, and IPMAN that have the retail outlet should not be distorted by allowing monopoly to set in.
Right now, as I said, we bought about 50 million barrels of crude. About 60% of that comes from NNPC, and we're thankful to them for their support, and we hope we'll continue to get this support. About 20% of that had to be imported from outside, and then 20% we purchased. So that's our third question. And we count on support of the committee, the regulators, and other stakeholders to ensure that the refinery succeeds, because if it does, aside from the other obvious benefits, like FX generation, job creation, and the rest, most importantly, there is the psychological benefit of giving Nigerians and Africans in general the confidence that we can succeed. We can build big things and make them successful. And that in itself is.
In a bid to calm the storm and create an enabling environment for the interactive section to continue, after sensing that the discussions were not going in accordance with his earlier directive, the Senate leader reminded those present that the public hearing will be a better time for serious arguments if need be.
The essence of today's meeting is one, for us to be able to meet with the stakeholders and to be able to also make you to be a part of our agenda setting, and most importantly, to be able to appeal to all stakeholders. In the meantime, by saying, let the accusations and counter-accusations, stop. We understand the concern of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians are concerned about ensuring that we do not kill local initiative and local investment to allow them to survive. Just like a lot of Nigerians are also concerned about ensuring that we do not consciously inaugurate a monopoly, which will not serve overriding public interests and which will not be consistent with global best practice standards. All these are issues. But in the meantime, while we work with you to address all of this, we call on all our stakeholders.
In their separate remarks, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Olawale Edun, and the Honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Henikin Lokobiri, said the Tinubu-led administration is committed to self-sufficiency in the production and refining of petroleum products, noting that the increase in the crude production would stabilize the country's foreign exchange market, while expressing confidence in the leadership of the Adhoc Committee to conduct an unbiased and impartial investigation.
There is a commitment to dealing with these issues, and the focus also remains in the oil and gas industry in improving incentives. Already, Mr. President has signed some executive orders which have meant that oil and gas investments, particularly in the gas sector, have started to flow back. The outlook for oil prices for the rest of this year and beyond is positive, is strong. We expect the price of oil to stay relatively high, and so we must seize this opportunity. Amongst other things, we must seize this opportunity to maximize the whole oil and gas sector value chain.
We are committed as a country to ensuring that we'll complete the rehabilitation of those refineries so that we can reduce the level of import that we need to be able to serve the needs of Nigerians. We're also committed to supporting Dangote refinery. We are committed to supporting the modular refineries, and we have been resolving whatever issues that are brought to our attention from time to time.
The session was also attended by Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC), Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, and representatives of Customs Services, the Nigerian Navy, Association of Local Refiners, Dangote Group, and others who spoke after assured the committee that they would wait for the appropriate time to tell their side of the story to the Nigerian public. Meanwhile, the Adhoc Committee investigating the importation of adulterated petroleum products had vowed to reveal the identity of people behind the importation as dangerous fuel circulates across the country. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejirogenefifen for Ben Television.